Thank you very much, sir. I extend a very, very warm welcome to one and all present here. I extend a very warm welcome to our District Governor, MGR Murthy, who has managed to find time to come and join the meeting. A very, very warm welcome to our inaugural person, Dr. Bharat Pandya. And he, in spite of all his busy things, that he has to catch a flight immediately after his inaugural address. So a very warm welcome to you, sir, and thank you very much for joining. I extend a very warm welcome to the distinguished speakers gathered here today. Our DRFC PDG P. Narayan, PDG Rajendra Rai, RRFC Manjunath Shetty, PDG GK Balakrishnan, and our trainer Abhinandan Shetty, DGN BC Geeta, DGND Rotarian Devanand, and all the past district governors, PDG Chatra, who will be giving the concluding remarks, who is not here now. And I also extend a very warm welcome to Roy Woman and Sumit Williams from the South Asia office. I extend a very warm welcome to all the Rotaractors, my fellow Rotarians, and our distinguished guests who have gathered here. Thank you very much for showing the interest to come and attend the grand seminar. This is something that we all need to know a lot more about, and I hope we all learn more in this meeting and enjoy the whole program. A warm welcome to one and all of you again. I now I request our District Governor MGR sir to please give the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Gauri, DGE, and I once again welcome all the dignitaries present here, and especially the Bharat Pandya, our own man. He has become our own man, and now the trustee designate. Thank you for your presence, sir, and once again welcoming all of you. The district grand seminar is a very important event. Before taking over as your officers, whether it is the president, secretary, or board of directors, or even to the extent of the governor, assistant governor, because only the condition for the grant to sanction the grant is to see that the representative from the club should be present in this particular seminar. Now, at this point of time, I request all the assistant governors to see that your presence will, or somebody representing the club will be present in this meeting next 5 minutes. So that way, grant guidance of giving the application, finding the partners, and also the procedure to be followed, and also the financial aspects of the grant, and also implementation, and then strategic planning, and also the sustainability and the stewardship. All these matters in the district grants. So that way, it is very important district event to be taken care of before taking over. So that way, it is definitely a knowledge bank. We are having all the right from Bharat Pandya and this Rajendra and Manjunath Shetty and our DRFC Narayan to speak on various issues about the grants. So that way, it is also a knowledge building seminar. So I request all the participants present here and also to be joining. I request again, once again, to assistant governors to act upon and see that you actively participate and ask the questions wherever there is a doubt, so that the things are clear. Because to my experience, only after the half of the year, the people start gaining the momentum on these issues. So that will go very badly, because before the year ends, the things may not happen. So that way, right now from July, or if you have already planned for global grants and all that, you should see that you will act upon immediately and see that as early as possible the grants happen, and also the implementation of the project will be taken care of during the year 22-23. That way, this seminar is going to be very practical oriented, very knowledge oriented, and also the social orientation, because we are taking a lot of projects on this issue for community services. So that way, I request all of you to again participate in this particular very important district seminar and I wish the seminar be a successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll move on to the next inaugural address by Dr. Pandya. A very, very short introduction of Dr. Pandya. It's totally unnecessary because there's nobody here who doesn't know who he is. But there are some Rotaractors who don't know who he is. So for them, this is a very, very short. There was an audio visual about Bharat Pandya. We're not going to show it, sir. Don't worry. Okay. So I'm just giving you a very short introduction for the people who may not have seen you in some meetings. Dr. Bharat Pandya is a practicing general and laparoscopic surgeon for the past 33 years. He and his wife, Dr. Madhavi, a gynecologist, is a fellow International College of Surgeons and has served on the board of Jai Kishan Samasthan, a vocational training institute sponsored by the government. Dr. Pandya joined Rotary in 1989, became the governor in 3140 in 2006 and 7, and has raised $2 million for the Rotary Foundation, a record for his year. He was a director in 2019-21 and a training leader in 9-10. He has been a guest trainer 8 times. He has been an RI rep in many, many countries, and he has received the Service Above Self Award, Foundation citation for the meritorious service, and the Rotary Foundation. He's received every possible award that is available in Rotary. He and his wife, Dr. Madhavi, as a level 3 major donors. Sir, a very, very short introduction doesn't do justice to you, but over to you, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Gauri, for those kind words. Good morning, everybody. District Governor M.G. Ramchandramurthy, District Governor-elect Dr. Gauri, DRFC Dr. Narayan, ARFC GK, RRFC Manjunath Shetty, Rajendra Rai, Abhinandan, all the galaxy of past governors. I see so many of them present here today, and Rotarians of 3182. It's indeed a great pleasure to be here inaugurating this grants management seminar. As Governor MGR said, it is very, very important and very, very essential item of the foundation training cycle in every year. And I must compliment Dr. Gauri, Dr. Narayan, that well in time, by mid-June, it is supposed to be finished by about 15th or 16th June, the grant management seminar. So you are absolutely in time for holding this grant management seminar. Very, very important event for qualification of clubs to participate in the grants. And therefore, I know that you will have a record of all the people who are attending this seminar. And at the end of this, if some clubs have missed attending this seminar, maybe you can do a sort of a one-to-one training or get them together and do this small seminar again, not to have a big audience, but have a couple of people talking to them about the importance of grants and all the other aspects. Because unless you participate in a grants management seminar, the club is not qualified to participate in the grants. Of course, you cannot participate in global grants. District grants can be allowed, provided that the district decides so. But I recommend Dr. Gauri, Dr. Narayan, that even for district grants, we should have a rule that qualification is essentially also for district grants, not just for global grants. Because that is a good practice to follow, and that is a good way to ensure that we practice complete transparency and complete stewardship in grants in our district as far as Rotary Foundation is concerned. And I'm reminded of Mahatma Gandhi's words. Why Mahatma Gandhi? Because I am in the land of Mahatma Gandhi in Rajkot at present, inaugurating a global grant project actually. A little bit more about that little later. But Gandhi always used to say that there is enough in this world for everyone's need, but there is not enough in this world for one man's greed. And only if everyone shares and cares, everyone can have enough. I think if we have to capture the work that the Rotary Foundation does in few lines, I cannot find better line than these, Dr. Gauri, because these lines capture the spirit of Rotary, the spirit of our Rotary Foundation, the spirit of service above self, the spirit of caring and sharing, the spirit of working for world peace, goodwill and understanding, which is ultimately the motto and mission of Rotary Foundation. I believe that Rotary Foundation is the very backbone of Rotary. Because much of the good work that we do in Rotary is made possible and happens because of the work of the Rotary Foundation, because of the programs of the Rotary Foundation. The Rotary Foundation is our window of opportunity. Look out through this window and we see the real world. A world where millions are starving, millions do not have access to safe water and proper sanitation. There are lakhs and lakhs of people who do not have the basic amenities, a good education, water and sanitation, access to affordable health care. And through the programs of the Rotary Foundation, I think we can really make a difference in the world. And remember, as Rotarians, Rotary is not defined by who I am, president, assistant governor, governor, director, president of Rotary International, but Rotary is defined by our actions, by the opportunity that each one of us has to make a difference through our service, and the way we use that opportunity in the best possible way. And one of the best possible ways to use this opportunity is through the grants of the Rotary Foundation. You all know the two types of grants, the district grants and the global grants. District grants allow you to do work in the community and see the effect of that work in your own community. For smaller projects, need-based community projects, district grants are necessary. But it is the global grants that truly allow us to do impactful work, bigger, better, and bolder projects, not just in our community, not just in our state, not just in our country, but across the world. Through global grants, we can truly make a difference. And as I was sharing with you that I am at present in District 3060 in Rajkot, inaugurating a global grant project worth $150,000, almost 1 crore rupees plus, where the club, Rajkot Midtown, one of the premier clubs of this district, the largest club of this district, has set up a center of diabetes excellence. It's a 5-storied hospital, comprehensive diabetes care under one roof. Set up 2 years back, and this year, through this global grant of almost 1 crore rupees, they have equipped this center with so many different equipments, the latest state-of-the-art technologies. And it really brought home to me the fact when I inaugurated it yesterday, that truly through Rotary, we are really making a difference to the global grants. And I know your district is also participating, of course, in district grants, but also in global grants. But I encourage Dr. Gauri that we must get more and more of our clubs to participate in the global grants. Because it is the global grants, if I can use that term, it is the global grants which are going to be and which are the game changer as far as the Rotary and Rotary Foundation is concerned. And let me share with you some statistics about the global grants. You know, the global grants started in the year 2013 and 14. In that year, 850 global grants were sanctioned by the Rotary Foundation, and the dollar value was $38 million. In 2019-20, 1387 global grants were sanctioned, and the dollar value was $96 million. And in 2020-21, remember that year was the year of COVID. Year started with the COVID and ended with the COVID. But in 2021, Rotarians across the world did 2,000 plus global grants, and the dollar value was $138 million. So you can see the exponential way in which the global grants have been growing. And as far as India is concerned, India is the largest recipient of the global grants. In 2020, global grants worth $20 million were sanctioned for India. In 2020-21, global grants worth $22 million were sanctioned for India. In case you wonder which was the number 2 country, so that was number 1 country, India. In case you wonder which was the number 2 country to receive the maximum global grants, that number 2 country was Thailand in the year 2021. And the global grants which Thailand got was $5 million. India got $22 million. Global grants, Thailand got $5 million. So you can imagine the huge gap which is there. And there is nothing wrong with that, because Indian districts and Indian Rotarians are very active and very proactive as far as global grants are concerned. But when we have so many global grants coming in, it increases our responsibility manifests. If we receive 4 times plus or 5 times the number of global grants which Thailand is receiving, then our responsibility also increases fivefold to see that these global grants are done for the need which is there in the community, which are done in the best possible manner. It's important when we look at global grants to look at stewardship of global grants. And this stewardship does not just mean reporting, but stewardship is a very, very broad word. And I am sure that somebody is going to talk about stewardship little later on. But stewardship is very, very broad word which encompasses everything that goes into a global grants. And why do Rotarians give to the Rotary Foundation? We give to the Rotary Foundation not just because of the track record of the Rotary Foundation of outstanding work, not just because of the financial discipline of the Rotary Foundation, but the most important reason that people give to Rotary Foundation is because of the stewardship, the trust they have in the Rotary Foundation. So if you ask me to describe stewardship in one word, I will say that that one word is the trust. Trust that people have that the monies that they give to the Rotary Foundation are used in the best possible way. So what is this stewardship? 3 or 4 things. Stewardship means identifying the need which is there in the community. Not just doing something for the sake of doing it, not just doing a global grant because if you have an opportunity to do a global grant, but really identifying that there is a need for this thing in the community and doing a global grant to fulfill that need. That is stewardship. Stewardship is identifying the resources that you will require to fulfill that global grant, to execute that global grant. Stewardship is writing a grant application in a proper way, not inflating the budget, but really looking at the budget and trying to cut down the cost as much as possible, friends, and only asking for grant funds which are really required to execute that project. Stewardship means proper execution and supervision of the project, to see that the project is executed with the best cost-cutting measures, to see that it is done in the best possible manner. Cost-cutting does not mean compromising on quality, but cost-cutting means that giving the best quality at the best possible price. Stewardship means proper supervision and proper execution of project. Very importantly, stewardship means using the grant funds for the purpose for which the grant is sanctioned. You know, we have this Indian mentality of adjustment. Not that we want to do something wrong, but we feel that, okay, this extra money is available, let us use it for something else. Friends, stewardship means using it exactly for the purpose for which the grant is sanctioned. If any deviation is to be done from whatever the grant is sanctioned for, please take the permission of the Rotary Foundation before you do any deviation from whatever the grant funds are sanctioned for. Of course, a very important part of stewardship is reporting. And lastly, but most importantly, stewardship also means bringing it to the attention of the district governor, bringing it to the attention of the trustee, bringing it to the attention of the Rotary Foundation. If you find that the foundation trusts are being misused by somebody or some club or some organization, you know, you go to a bank, Dr. Gauri, when we go to a bank to take a bank loan, the bank asks so many things. They ask all your antecedents, your precedents. They ask for some guarantor and they ask for some guarantee. Your house has to be mortgaged. Something has to be done in guarantee. If you ask for a loan for 1 crore rupees or 1.5 crore rupees, the bank asks for so many things, documents. And of course, the bank charges interest on whatever loan you are taking. Remember, here, the Rotary Foundation is giving you the money, not on loan, but giving away the money to you without any guarantee. The only guarantee is the word Rotary. That is the only guarantee. They are giving the money to the Rotarians. And therefore, it is very, very important and no interest is being charged. It is very, very important, friends, for us to practice complete stewardship in whatever we do, friends. And I'm sure that today's grant management seminar will not only show you the importance of writing the grants in the proper manner, doing the needs assessment in the proper manner, finding international partner in the best possible manner, but also very importantly, practicing stewardship in all aspects of Rotary and Rotary Foundation, execution of the grant and reporting. I know with a senior Rotarian, past governor, Dr. Narayan as DRFC, with district governor-elect Dr. Gauri, and with a very good district team, with Abhinandan Shetty as the district trainer and the district team in the Rotary Foundation, District 3182 will really do well as far as foundation grants are concerned in the year 2022-23. And remember, you have many resources which are available, Dr. Gauri, at your disposal. You have, of course, the district resources. The Rotary website is a fantastic resource. But more importantly, two important resources I would like to bring to your attention. One is, of course, your zonal foundation team. And the zonal foundation team is, of course, your ARFC, past governor G.K. Balakrishnan, your RRFC, Manjunath Shetty, your EMGA, Suresh Hari, and your End Polio Now coordinator, PDG Bharat Reddy. This zonal foundation team are, I am sure, always going to be available to guide you, to assist you in whatever possible way it is. And on behalf of them, I can promise you that whenever, whatever is required, will be available to you. Of course, as a trustee of the Rotary Foundation, from our zones 4, 5, 6, and 7, I am always available. I am just a phone call away. You know that, Dr. Gauri, I don't have to tell you this. I am just a phone call away for whatever issues you are facing or whatever difficulties you are facing in your global grants and other activities. And of course, in the South Asia office staff, and I heard you say that Roy is there and a couple of other people are there. I think Williams is there. So South Asia office staff, extremely proactive staff. The staff at the Rotary Foundation is proactive, Evanston. But I can say that if that staff is proactive or South Asia office staff is extra proactive, you write to them and they are always eager to troubleshoot and solve any problems that you have. But of course, these grants are only possible if we have that money in the Rotary Foundation. And you know, there are 3 types of funds in the Rotary Foundation: the annual fund, the polio fund, and the endowment fund. It is the annual fund which drives the global grants. So unless we contribute to the annual fund, we can't be doing global grants. If we don't contribute to the annual fund this year, 3 years down the line, there'll be no global grants coming back to the district. The polio fund is our sacred promise to the children of the world. And we know we are at a historic point as far as polio eradication is concerned. We just have had 8 cases of polio, 6 in Pakistan and 2 in Afghanistan in this year, 2022, in the first almost 6 months of the calendar year. And we really are closer to eradicating polio than ever before. We have now come out with the novel oral OPV2, novel oral polio vaccine for the polio type 2, which is now going to be given so that we are now truly able to eradicate polio from the world. But of course, all these things, polio eradication requires a lot of support. And therefore, again, we have to think of, not we have to think, but we have to contribute to the polio fund. And the third fund is the endowment fund. If annual fund is for today, polio fund is, of course, our promise to the children, and endowment fund is for tomorrow. And the goal of the Rotary Foundation Trust is 2.025 billion by 2025. And let me share with you some good news that out of that 2.025 billion, 1.6 billion plus has already been given in commitment and contribution as far as endowment fund is concerned. That means we are 80% of target is reached. And we are 3 years away from reaching the 100% target. So I'm sure that if Rotarians of 3182 and Rotarians across the world open out their hearts and contribute to the endowment fund, I'm sure that we will reach that target of 2.025 billion. You know, we are doing these 2 programs of scales. You know, the programs of scale is a $2 million grant given by Rotary Foundation, 1 per year. First program of scale was for malaria eradication in Zambia. Second program of scale has just been announced for mother and child health in Nigeria. If we are really able to meet that target of 2.025 billion, every year we will have net earnings of around 80 to 85 million, friends. And not just one, then probably we will be able to do 10 programs of scale. And that is the impact which we can do with a really good endowment fund to ensure a better tomorrow for our children and grandchildren. All of us have this opportunity. In this year, as club president, club secretary, president-elect, or whatever position you are having, you have this opportunity this year to do your best, because this position you are holding, Dr. Gauri, you are not going to be governor again. Presidents are not going to be presidents again. This is your time. This is your moment. Make the best of it. Go for it. I wish you all the very best to have a very fruitful and enjoyable discussion for this grant management seminar. A couple of hours down, 2 hours later, I have to catch a flight. But before that, I have to go back to the diabetes center to do some more, not inauguration, but some more visits to the diabetes center. So I once more thank Dr. Gauri for inviting me here today and giving this opportunity to share some thoughts. And I wish you all fruitful deliberations for this grant management seminar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very, very much for that wonderful and motivating talk. The very valid points that you mentioned was where we got 22 million, and you said a very pertinent point that we also need to give back what we have received. We need to give more, and Thailand, standing second, has received only 5 million. That is a huge big deficit, that difference that we have, and we really need to give back what we have got. So thank you so much for your motivational talk, sir. I'm sure it has been well received by everybody, and we allow you now to go and catch your flight. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Bharat Pandya, sir.
Thank you, MGR, and thank you, Dr. Narayan, Dr. Gauri. Thank you so much.
We now go on to, can I have the slide, please? After hearing Dr. Bharat Pandya's talk, this is the slide that we wanted to show. As we work to create light for others, we naturally light our own way. This is the thought for the day today, and it makes it very relevant, especially after Dr. Bharat Pandya's talk. We need to give more. We create light for ourselves, and we also create light for other people. So let's think about it and go ahead with the meeting. I now request our DRFC, Dr. P. Narayan, to give an address of the Rotary Foundation grants and overview. Over to you, sir.
District Governor-elect, District Governor Ramchandramurthy, District Governor Dr. Gauri, all leaders of the District 3182, or RRFC, Manjunath Shetty, ARFC, GK, my friends in Rotary. Today is a great day for the Rotary Foundation in District 3182. We are here to know about the structure, how to go about with the grants, and how to do good in the world through the motivation of global grant, district grant, and scale of the other grants. I'm sure all of you have listened with attention to that wonderful talk by Bharat Pandya. He has given a nutshell of the he has given a sort of a aerial view of the entire Rotary Foundation. Now it's my job to take you through what are all the things that we have in the Rotary Foundation as far as the grants are concerned. Friends, all of you know about this mission of the Rotary Foundation. Enable Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, support of education, and alleviation of poverty. This is what exactly Rotary Foundation aims at by going to global grants and district grants. What are the grants? Of course, this is a short taken by while implementing one of the popular global grant projects in our district, the COW project, the so-called Godana project in a rural community in Vippanpet. Friends, what are the grants we are talking about? As Dr. Bharat Pandya has rightly put it, the most important is the global grant, where you aim at doing good in the world. And next to the district grant, where you aim at doing good in your own community. And of course, the program of scale grants, the mega grants that have come into force during the last 2 years. And what are these global grants? They are large, long-term, humanitarian projects. Mark every word here. Big. We are not talking about small projects, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. We are talking about large grants, grants which have long-term impact on the humanity, and all the global grants are humanitarian projects. They include the so-called scholarships which we had in the past, the ambassadorial scholarships and any type of scholarships also can be included in the global grants. We have the vocational training teams, which substitute the most popular group study exchange teams in the past. These global grants respond to the real community needs, not to need of ourselves. Depending on the need of the community, we plan for a global grant, strengthen the community's capacity to address its own needs. Something like not giving a fish to a hungry man, teaching how to fish himself to take care of his hunger. That's what global grant actually needs. And one of the most important things about the global grant is we always look at sustainable, measurable outcomes, not doing something today and forgetting all about tomorrow. They should be there in the helping the community for years to come. And you have got the grant to align with our areas of focus. I'll come to that areas of focus a bit later.
Excuse me, sir.
And
may I interrupt, sir? Have you got a PPT?
pardon?
Have you got a PPT?
Yes.
You're not shared it, sir.
I not shared it. Sorry.
No, sir.
I not shared it. Sorry. I'll go to. Oh, I thought I had shared it.
No, sir.
So I was just going through the. I'm sorry about it.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Fine.
Okay. Of course, these things I told about the vision, the mission of the Rotary Foundation, the global grant, the picture taken at the Ripponpet Global Grant initiation. I told about the global grant, district grant, and program of scale grant. Is it visible? The screen sharing is visible, isn't it, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fine.
Yes. Of course, I talked about the global grant, large long-term humanitarian projects, include scholarships and vocational training teams, response to real community needs, strengthen the community's capacity to address its own needs, sustainable and measurable. All these things I have already told, alignment with areas of focus, which I'm going to tell later. And one of the most important things is international partnership, which I am sure our RFC is going to highlight at some point of time. Friends, what are the things you look for in a global grant? First, qualify your club or district for global grants every year. One of the fundamental things we always ask for qualification of the club. One of the fundamental things of qualifying your club, as our trustee-elect Bharat Pandey has already told, attendance at the district grant seminar is one of the issues on which your club gets qualified. And district gets qualified by the leaders of the district getting into a MOU with the Rotary Foundation, actively involve the benefiting community in the project. You are not doing the project on yourself, involve the community when you are doing a global grant project. It is by the people, for the people, and of the people. You can act as a primary sponsor of more than 10 active global grants at a time. Probably this does not apply to our district because most of the clubs are just getting to just one global grant. Stay up to date in reporting for all active grants. That's about the stewardship. I'm sure past Governor GK is going to tell a lot about this reporting aspect of the thing. And what about the funding for the global grants? People ask, we want a global grant. And how do you get the funding? 30,000 is the minimum budget. I told about the large grants. No global grant can happen below $30,000 as the budget. That means at the current rate of exchange, about 24 lakhs of rupees. The World Fund match up to $400,000. Think of the hugeness of the project, what big project you can take. And district designated funds are cash contributions by the clubs and district. Either the club can contribute by cash or avail of the DDF that is available, allotted for the district based on the contribution made 3 years before. And World Fund matches, mark this, World Fund is the fund pooled at the Rotary Foundation out of the annual contribution we give. From the World Fund, DDF contributions are matched 80%, but unfortunately, club cash contribution is not matched by the Rotary Foundation for want of funds. Some of the recent changes, environmental issue has been included because it's the 7th area of focus. You can apply for any project on the environment issue, and cash contribution, I already told for the club cash contribution, there is no matching. And beginning from July 22, Rotary clubs can be the primary sponsors of a global grant. I'm sure the Rotaractors which are participating in this seminar, even for the others who have sponsored Rotary clubs, this is a pleasant news. You can motivate Rotary clubs also to participate in the global grants. One of the recent changes is, as the application is submitted, you have to be ready with a dedicated bank account for the grant. Previously, it was required only on grant approval. Today, you have to open a bank account and upload all the details, but it does not guarantee approval of a grant. It will only lead smoother payment process for the grants that are approved. Grant sponsors can receive email when they submit their application, asking them to sign into the online system and provide the account information. This is a typical global grant. How does it funding work? I told you the DDF is matched 80%. Cash contribution is not matched. If you want to have a $30,000 project, this is how basically it was. You can keep on changing the pattern, but this is how a global grant project funding works. And the areas of focus, all of you are familiar with these areas of focus: water and sanitation, economic and community development, maternal and child health, supporting the environment, basic education literacy, disease prevention and treatment, peace, conflict prevention and resolution. ಯಾವುದೇ humanitarian ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಲ್ಲ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡಬೇಕು ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ಇದೊಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಬ್ಬಣದ ಗಡ್ಲೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕೀನ್: ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ನಾನು ಆವಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದಂತೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾಡಿ ನಾಳೆ ಕೈ ಬಿಡೋದಲ್ಲ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಡೂ, ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಲ್. ಏನು ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಏನು? ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಗೋ ಎ ಬಿಟ್ ಡೀಪ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಟ್. You have to start with the community. I told you it is by the people, for the people, and of the people. Nanigeno beku madade, clubbigeno beku madade antalla. The community should need it. And then what should happen is, one of the basic needs of a global grant application that is specified now since 2018 is a community assessment result. A community assessment result ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಆ community strength, weakness, needs assessment ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Identify the relevant opportunities for the project. As I told you, community ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಂತ ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. Then ಇದು ಮಾಡೋದಾಗೆ community assessment ಅನ್ನ you have to have a community meeting. Global grant ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವೋ ಆ community ಒಂದು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್. ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಸ್, ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್, ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್, ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಫೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ. ಆ ಊರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. You have to interview the people. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆನಿಫಿಷಿಯರೀಸ್ ಯಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ಏನು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಅಂತ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಫೋಕಸ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಇನ್ವೆಂಟರಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡದೆ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಮ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಗೈಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಂತಾದ್ರೆ there is a beautiful literature from the Rotary Foundation, community assessment tools. As Bharat Pandya rightly put you, Rotary.org has so much of material, and this is one of the tools. You can always take it as a ready reference material. ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಯ ಡೈನಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಯ ಪ್ರಯಾರಿಟೀಸ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ತೊಗೊಳಕ್ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರೋ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸಂಬಂಧ ಬಾಂಧವ್ಯ ಬೆಳೆಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಅವರು ಮುಂದೆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ರೋಟರಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟೆಡ್. ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಓನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮುಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊತ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಈ ಕೆಲ್ಸಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ರಿಮೈನ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮೈಂಡೆಡ್. ನಾನು ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬಂದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕನ್ನೋದು ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಎರಡು ಕಣ್ಣನ್ನ ಕಿವಿಯನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ. ಚೂಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲಿ. ಯಾವ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಇದನ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ will be really helpful to you, that choose them. Include overlooked or marginalized groups. Consider yourself an outsider. Don't think that you are going to impose everything on them. You are an outsider. You are there to help them out. Anta ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಹೇಳೋಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡೋದು, ಡೋಂಟ್ promise a project before you make a decision. ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಂಥ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಮೊದಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ you are in soup. You're definitely in a soup. Don't do that for heaven's sake. Local ownership. ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲಿಯವರ ಓನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಒಂದು ಡಯಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಡಯಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ದೇ might be excellent qualified people, but you have to provide specific training. If you are equipping a school, teachers ಗೆ specific training. ಈ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ, ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ, ಟಾಯ್ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ, ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅದು ನಂತರ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನಿ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಬೈ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ಯಾವುದೇ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಎಕ್ವಿಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ತರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಲೋಕಲಿ ಯು ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ very good in getting them serviced quite regularly. So go for local products, find local funding. Project ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಫಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ, ಏನ್ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಇದೆ. ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಏನ್ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮುಂದೆ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಅದೇ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮಬಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಅಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡದೆ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ದ ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ nowadays. Measure your success. ಒಂದು ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಂತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂದೆಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದಿ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ. ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಬಂತು ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ಎ ವಾಚ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಗೆ ಎಕ್ವಿಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಆ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲು ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು, ನಿಮ್ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಬಂದಂತ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಆ ಮೊದಲು ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು, ಈಗ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗಾಗಿದೆ, ಸ್ಕೂಲಿನ ಔಟ್ಲುಕ್ ಹೇಗಾಗಿದೆ, ಅವ್ಯಾವ ದಿ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಈ ತರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಆ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಮೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇರಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. District qualification, district leaders complete qualification process online annually. Myself, Dr. Gauri and Dr. Geeta have at it, we'll do it. Agree to implement MOU. We are agreeing to implement MOU with the Rotary Foundation. MOU ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಬ್ಗಳ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಗೌರಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಇನ್ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಲೀಡರ್ ಗೀತಾ ಒಂದು ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಭರವಸೆ ಇಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಕೆಲಸ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಂತ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ಸ್, ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವೇ ದಿವಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಬ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಗ್ರಿ ಟು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಬ್ MOU. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಾರದೊಳಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ಕ್ಲಬ್ಬಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಮೆಮೊರಾಂಡಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಪಿನ ನಾನು ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡೋನಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ವರ್ಷದ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್, ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2022-23 ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್, 23-24 ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಇಬ್ರು ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ವಾಪಸ್ ನನಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ MOU ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೋ, ಕ್ಲಬ್ಗಳು ನಮ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ MOU ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಡ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ಕಳಿಸಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಯಾರು MOU ಸೈನ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೋ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. Send club members to grant management seminar sponsored by the district. I think Dr. Bharat Pandya has rightly put it. ಇವತ್ತು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ಬರ್ದೇ ಇದ್ದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಎಸ್, ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾನು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಗೌರಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಬಟ್ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, ದ ಕ್ಲಬ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟಿಂಗ್ will have a first preference in getting their grants. Clubs which don't contribute regularly may have to wait for their opportunity. And stewardship ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇವಾಗಲೇ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಭರತ್ ಪಂಡ್ಯ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮುಂದೆ GK ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿವ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ತಗೋತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಟಚ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್? ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಾಗ ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್. ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್, ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್. $30,000 ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, $1,000 ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, $2,000 ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, $500 ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಲೋಕಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ನಿಮ್ಮೂರಲ್ಲೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಲೈನ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಮಿಷನ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಿಷನ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನೇನೋ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೇನೋ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು ಅವಕಾಶ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಆನ್ಯುವಲ್, ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಲಬ್. ಇಡೀ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೊಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕ್ಲಬ್ಗಳ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಇಟ್ ಕುಡ್ ಬಿ ಎ ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ವಿಚ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಕ್ಲಬ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಟೇಕ್, ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಎ basket of activities each club tries to find out what to do. These are the district grants. District grants, it's a one block grant. Each club cannot apply. Of course, these are all the administrative issues of application ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 20% ಅನ್ನ contingency ಇಟ್ಬೋದು, 3% ಅನ್ನ grant related administrative expenses ಇಟ್ಬೋದು. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಕೋತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏನ್ ಎಲಿಜಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಬರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಗ್ರಾಂಟಿಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸರ್ಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್, ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಡೆಡಿಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸಿಗ್ನೇಚರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗವರ್ನರ್, DRFC and district grant subcommittee chairman. Application deadline is 15th May. I got another 11 months to go with that. Reporting authorized by the current leader. New application approved only if the previous year's grant is closed. District grant activities ಅಲ್ಲಿ active Rotarian participation ಇರಬೇಕು. Adhere to stewardship guidelines for everything. For anything and everything under Rotary Foundation, you have to adhere to stewardship guidelines. Demonstrate cultural sensitivity. ಅಲ್ಲಿಯ ಕಲ್ಚರಿಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಏನೇನೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಮಿಸ್ಫಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಅಲೈನ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಮಿಷನ್. ಆವಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್, ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟಿಗೂ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟಿಗೂ ಏನಂತ, ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ವೈಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಏನು, ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್, ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಕಸ್. ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಓನ್ಲಿ Rotary ಮಿಷನ್ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್, ನಾಟ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್. ಮೆಜರಬಿಲಿಟಿ ನಾಟ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್. ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಟ್ ನೋಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಗಾದ್ರೆ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಟ್. District grant you can give it even to a high school student. District grants ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಅವಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು. Global grants, these are all the basic issues on which you take care of the grants. ಏನು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿದಂತ ಮುಂದೆ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹಸುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಲು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಿಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮೇವು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ. ನನ್ನ ಲೆಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ Rotary ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾಮಧೇನು. ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫೀಡ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮೇವು ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಹಾಲು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತು, ನಾಳೆ, ನಾಡಿದ್ದು ವರ್ಷಗಟ್ಟಲೆ ಹಾಲು ಕೊಡ್ತೋಕೆ. ಸೊ ಗಿವ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ದಿ Rotary ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್. ಬರೀ ಗಿಡ ಕೊಡೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ ಯಾವಳು ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಕೇಳೋದು ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಒಂದ್ ಕೈಲಿ ಕೊಡಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ ಕೈಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ, ಅದೇ ಕೊಡೋದನ್ನ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಲರ್ನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಅಟ್ Rotary. This is just a comparison of questions I will take in the end. Thank you very much. I hope I have covered the most of the things that was expected of me. And Madam, back to you. Dr. Gauri, back to you. Unmute Markle.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful talk. Not for nothing, you called the Bhishma of Rotary. Thank you so much, sir, and for that very informative talk. Now we next go on to the next speaker for today, PDG Rotarian Rajendra Rai. Could you just highlight him, please? PDG Rotarian Rajendra Rai, as you all heard from Sir DRFC P. Narayan, he was thus instrumental in providing an ambulance for the Ukraine war, and he has always been up to something quietly, doing great things. PDG Rotarian Rajendra Rai was the district governor of RID 3190 in 2007 and 8. He has been a GSC team leader, ARRFC in 2008-11, COL representative in 2013, and RIP representative to various districts 3 times. He is presently the director for Forest Engineering India Limited. He is a managing trustee of Rotary Needy Heart Foundation. Rajendra Rai, sir, I welcome you to this meeting, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, DG Gauri. Let me thank Governor Ramchandra Murthy, Gauri, and also DRFC Narayana for having given me an opportunity to share my learnings, my experience, and my thoughts on how to conceive and plan a global grant project. Now, let me share my presentation. Can you see? Could you see the presentation?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Well, friends, you see, as you all know, Rotary provides different opportunities for different people in different countries. Thanks to Rotary, we have made friends world over. Thanks to Rotary, some of us have, enhanced our career, and also some of
Sir,
them.
you're not shared your screen, sir.
I'm already shared it, I think, if I'm
No,
mistaken.
sir, no, it's not visible.
Okay, 1 minute.
You have to press the share screen button. In the bottom, there is a share screen button. Green, yes.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
you are
I've done that.
now you are starting it.
Yeah. Okay. Is that
Ah.
visible now?
Yes,
Now it's
sir.
visible.
Okay. As I said, it's the last 117 years. You see, Rotary means many things, many people, and different things to different people in different countries. For us, you see, it has provided an opportunity to make friends world over. It has provided opportunity for us to. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir, you're fine. Please carry
Okay,
on.
fine. So as I was mentioning, you see, Rotary has provided us the opportunity to serve community, provided us the opportunity to do many global grant humanitarian projects, and also more than anything else, Rotary has given us incredible opportunity to do things which you wouldn't have been able to do as a non-Rotarian. So all of you, some of them people who have been associated with Rotary for many years, like Dr. Narayan, DG Gauri, Chandrasekhar, Abhinandan, GK, and all these people have many stories to share. And doing these global grant projects or humanitarian projects, see, you too could share your experience to your posterity. I would like to share a small experience of mine as far as the foundation activity is concerned. This was in 2010. On the Republic Day, we had two of our children from Pakistan. I had requested my friend Aziz to send children from Pakistan to undergo heart surgery in one of our hospitals, the Jaydev Hospital. So on that day, I had gone to meet them, and these two children, Master Asif and baby Knut, were playing chess when I went there. This girl was slightly downcast. Then I asked her father, who is an insurance agent in Hyderabad province of Sindh area in Pakistan. He told me, sir, we came all the way from Pakistan, and now Dr. Manjunath is telling us that this girl will not undergo surgery because it's a bit risky. He has assessed that there is a 30% chance that the child might die in the operation theater itself. So he said, I don't want to take a chance. He was virtually pleading with me. Then I had no choice but to contact Dr. Devanand, who you see in the left-hand side of the photographs there. Dr. Devanand is a cardiac surgeon who at that time he was working for Manipal Hospital. Normally, a doctor in one hospital doesn't go to another hospital to conduct surgery. But since he had gone as a GSCT member to Johns Hopkins Hospital in the US, when I was the GSC chairman, he agreed to my request to see the girl. He examined the girl. He also opined that this girl, there's a good chance that she might be successful, but at the same time, it's a big risk for him to take. He said that if the father undertakes that you can go ahead with the surgery irrespective of the result, then I'll take a chance. So as the luck would have it, you see that insurance agent who had come from Pakistan, he said, he gave it in writing that I undertake the responsibility. If something goes wrong, I take the full responsibility for that. So having got the undertaking, they want to conduct the surgery. The rest is history. This was in 2010, 2021, last year. I got this photograph of the child, which you see on the right extreme side. She was 21-year-old girl now, ready to get married. Today she's around 22 now. So this is a magical Rotary, friends. All this could be done, sitting here in 6,000 kilometers away in Bangalore. I'm sure she'll be thinking about what she underwent in Bangalore, in Jayadeva Hospital, and also every day she'll be thanking Rotary for all that. This is the miracle of Rotary and the miracle of Rotary Foundation, friends. But then, friends, to undertake a humanitarian project under a global grant, you need to go through these checklists. If you can flag all those points which are raised in the checklist, then only you should go ahead with that. What does it mean? Your project must be a long-term sustainable impact you should have in the community. Your project should include activities that align with the area of focus, 7 area of focus. and the minimum budget should be $30,000, as explained by Dr. Narayan, and it should also address an important need based on the assessment done by you. Lastly, it should strengthen the community's capacity to address its own needs. This is as far as the project is concerned. As far as the club is concerned, the club should get qualified. Narayan has already mentioned about the club should get qualified. District should get qualified first. And clubs will get qualified after signing an MOU with the district during the grant seminar. If you have missed it, you'll have to arrange for the structure meeting separately if you want to undertake any global project. You should involve, members should be actively involved in the project, and you should also involve the local community, because without the involvement of the local community, the ownership will never come. Then you need to have a partner outside your country. Any global grant project need to have a partner outside the country. The international partner is a must. You could act as a primary contact only, as explained, Dr. Narayan has made my life much easier. You can have only 10 projects at a time. More than 10 projects a club cannot undertake at a time. Then you require to develop a project plan. I'm going to explain that in detail later. When you apply, you don't apply through emails, you have to apply through My Rotary online application. Only online applications are accepted. And you need to stay up to date on the reporting part of it. That part also I'm going to talk about slightly later. Then, as mentioned repeatedly by Dr. Narayan, you got to conduct a community need assessment before applying for that grant. And the report has to go along with your application. And it should have measurable outcomes. And that measurable outcome or the impact assessment has to also go along with your application. Friends, what are the things that could be done? Yes, I explained to you the humanitarian project, which provides sustainable and measurable outcome. Number two, occasional training, which improves job skills in community through education programs, or you can send a team of professionals, any vocational team who travel abroad to gain knowledge and skill, one way, or the other way is to build the capacity of the community they visit. For example, if you're sending a medical team to Africa, you will be providing the skills to the doctors over there. On the other hand, if you're going, your team is going to, for example, we had a VTT program wherein our doctors, nurses practicing in palliative care, they went to UK and got themselves trained in hospices there in the UK. So there is either way, either you gain skills or you impart skills to the others. Lastly, which is not very popular now, is providing scholarship for graduate study or postgraduate study, which is within the, we don't want to spend on, this is not very popular in our country. Now, club qualification has been properly talked about in advance. So add your conditions, local conditions in your MOU, so that you got to adhere to both the conditions of the TRF as well as the additional conditions to be adhered, which is decided by your district. Now, how could you ensure success? The key elements for an effective global grant is that both the partners, the host partner, which is you, or the international partner, both of them should be committed and should be passionate about conducting this program. Number two, active participation of the Rotarians of both host and international sponsor clubs and the district is a must. Number three, you need to assign specific tasks to the individual committee members. In fact, it's advised that you should have a minimum of 3 persons in the grant committee. You can have many more. It all depends upon your understanding of the project and your capability to organize it. So but minimum 3 persons should be there in the grant committee. And as I mentioned earlier, and many times talked about, you need to have a need assessment, which could be done by your visits to the place, collection of data, and also setting some measurement criterion. Last but not the least is the financing of the project. You need to have commitment from both the host, your club, as well as the international partner about their commitment to finance this project. And also sometimes you may have some cooperating organization supporting it through their own funding. Next is much was talked about it. You got a community assessment tools are available. So this should be the starting point, not what you decide. See, a lot of times presidents in the club teams decide to have a project without even going to the community, identify the need. So that is not the one which we're looking for. We need to start with the need assessment, and by understanding the need of the community, that should be the number one point. And then you're required to provide what's a detailed project plan. The project plan should contain what impact you wish to have in the community, number one, what measurable goals and outcomes the project should have on the community, what actions need to be taken to implement each steps of this project, because the total project may have many steps to be taken. You've got to break it down to various steps of action, and based on that, you need to assign responsibility to your committee members as well as other members of your community, of your club. Then the assignment has to be given to each one of them. Ongoing monitoring is very much required. In fact, I advise that the team which is monitoring or which is executing the project should report to the club board on a monthly basis. Whenever you have the club board meetings, this committee should report to the club board so the club is aware of what is going on. Now, there are other issues which also you need to take care, which is your, you should ensure that, see, normally these global grant projects may go beyond 1 year or sometimes even to 2 or 3 years, in which case, since Rotary officers change every year, the continuity is one of the most difficult tasks you need to maintain. So you need to put such members who have a commitment to remain with the project till the complete execution project is undertaken. So you have to pick up those members who are committed to that project, who are passionate about doing this project to be taken. And next is that you need to ensure that there is no conflict of interest. No Rotary member should be involved with anything to do with this project in respect of getting any funding. For example, if you are giving some dialysis machine to a hospital, it should not be to a hospital run by a Rotarian of your club. So there are many such examples which could be cited. I'm just giving this as an example. So you need to ensure that there is no conflict of interest as far as the project is concerned. And in case if there is any conflict, we need to probably identify and tell them in advance and take the opinion of the TRF to go into the project. And as Dr. Narayan mentioned, involve the beneficiaries right from the day one when you plan or conceive a project, because involvement brings in commitment, commitment brings in what is called as the ownership. Unless the ownership comes to the community members, your project will not be a success. Now, Rotarians' involvement, as I emphasized, should be a must. And as many members you involve, better for the project. Now, having conceived the project, you need to identify what are the cost elements. And the cost elements will be arrived at based on getting quotations, or sometimes for a larger project, you can probably have a competitive bidding and get the reasonable price from the vendors. At times, what happens is you go to people who are known to you, and you may be misguided because you go by whatever that has been given by your friend or whom you have dealt with in the, but it's your responsibility as a part of stewardship to ensure that you get at least 2 or 3 quotes for a particular item of your giving, and then proper bidding is done and get the best price. This has been done even before you have made an application, not after the application has been approved. Hence, we need to ensure that the project has got proper financial controls through your financial management plan as well as record keeping. Now, financing. Once the budget is identified, you say the project costs about $30,000. Now you need to find source of money for this particular project. It could be your cash contribution from your host club. It could be cash contribution from the international club. It could be the district designated fund from your district, or it could be DDF from your partner, international partner, or it could be a directed gift given by somebody who has already pledged about $30,000 for a particular area of focus, or it could be endowment earning, not the endowment money, the endowment earning. These are the things which you can make use of for financing a global project. You are all aware that post-COVID now, the contribution to the World Fund for your projects has been trimmed down, and it is today only 80% of the DDF only. Cash contribution will not fetch you any matching contribution for the World Fund. And as already explained earlier, minimum size of the global impact should be $30,000, and the maximum World Fund match is 4 lakh US. And they have also reduced this contribution to the international partner to 15% of the total contribution, not the total grant value, total contribution. Now, this table tells you what is eligible for your World Fund match. Club contribution, no match. Hosted at DDF, 0.8%. Club international club contribution, no match. Only other thing is district, international district DDF fund, 0.8%. So today you need to have a proper partner abroad so that he gives enough money for you to come out to the project, which is about $30,000. Now, as much as you had talked about your project plan, you need to have a financial plan. When I say financial plan, it's advisable that you should have a dedicated account in the name of the global grant. For example, if you have got a global grant, GG22 means year 22, say 39,000 is the global number. You have an account opened by Rotary, so and so, account global grant number 22, 39,000. So either that, or if you have any club has got, the clubs have got their own FCRA account, you can also allow that fund to come to your FCRA account. During the beginning, the first half of the Rotary year, generally money wouldn't have been collected enough by the Foundation India. So they prefer that those clubs who have got the FCRA account, they encourage the clubs to route the funding through the FCRA account. Otherwise, the second half, you can always go for your dedicated funding. And all the financial records to be kept with you. Either you submit the original cash vouchers to the along with your final report, or you give the copy and keep your record for 8 years for any audit that could take place later. Now, Dr. Narayan talked about the 6 steps of sustainability. As you all know, according to Rotary, sustainability is an important element. It means providing long-term solution for the community needs that the beneficiaries can maintain after the grant funding ends. There are 6 steps to make your fund, which Narayan has already talked about. I don't want to talk more about it. One is that community need assessment, which also, I want to only add that such project which fits into beneficiaries' values and the culture. And you should involve multiple community partners in planning process. Number 2, local material, because you buy, for example, I did a project wherein we bought a submersible pump, solar driven pump for a project here in India, which was of Italian make. I had a problem because one of the pump was, there is a theft and the whole pump was lifted. Luckily, I had one extra pump with me, so I could give it to them. But that's the very reason they insist that we should use local technology and local material, so the replacement or the maintenance of such material, it could be possible with your local support from the companies whom you are buying. Number 3 is identify local funding, because you have gone out of the project, but the beneficiaries may have to maintain that equipment. If it's a dialysis machine, you need to maintain that. It's good if you, initially itself, if you have an annual maintenance contract for at least for about 3 years, if you bring it as a part of your funding, it will be very good. If you have not done it, your beneficiary should be prepared to spend money on that. So you need to ensure that they got the hospitals or the beneficiaries should be in a position to fund that, to ensure that these equipments are maintained properly and they are in operation. They could be in operation for years to come. Now, 4th is the training part of it. Training, education, all these are very important, because it only strengthens the beneficiary's ability to meet the project objectives. Confirm that there is a plan in place to transfer the knowledge to the new beneficiary. So training is very, very important. Without any training element in the global grant, your global grant will not be approved. I'll give an example. I used to have a lot of matching grants for building toilet blocks in the past, but when I applied for a global grant, I had to have a special training of the teachers as well as the students on personal hygiene and menstrual hygiene. without which they wouldn't approve that project. Fifth is motivate the beneficiary. You have to provide some incentives to the beneficiary and the project participant to continue the project. We need to also identify some individuals in the community who are passionate about the project and take the responsibility of carrying and sustaining this project, and which is very important for us. So this plays an important part. So this is where you are to interact with the community continuously, even beyond your project has been completed. Last but not the least, you need to monitor and evaluate. You need to maintain or develop a clear and measurable project objectives, identify the methods for collecting the data, and also at the time of applying itself, you need to establish a baseline. For example, you're doing a project which is teaching English for the students who are studying in Kannada medium schools. You need to see what is the level of understanding, the reading ability in English, writing ability in English at the time you have started the project, and then after the project is completed, what level they have gone into. So this is sometimes, you are not experts in these things. You need to get opinion from experts. There are experts in the community, experts within your club members who are professionals, or it could be outside experts who are technical experts, or it could be part of the international service chairs. It could be action group members. Whenever I'm doing a project on basic education literacy, I refer to Rotary, what's called BELRAD, basic action, your basic education literacy action group. I refer to them. Then there are regional grant officers such as Manjuna Shetty, and like such as ARFC GK. So you can always refer to them for help. And also Rotary staff are supposed to be helping you. Regional Rotary Foundation coordinator is assigned to our zone. She is the one, or he's the one who can help us. And there are some cadres who could also help us in support of your, if you got anything in doubt. Impact assessment is very important to the project has been completed. Specifically, if you're taking help from some third party, they would like to have the impact assessment done, and so that they have to report to their board. For example, you're getting money from a corporate organization, they'll insist that impact assessment is done, how much has been the impact, and what has been the benefit the community has gained out of the money they have spent, because they have to report back to the Minister for Home Affairs when they have given the money to you. As you know, you see every project gets reviewed by the technical group, which is the regional grant coordinator at the TRF. And then if it is slightly more difficult, they also refer to what's called the technical cadres. Now, site visits are sometimes called for. On-site evaluation takes place when a grant value is about 200,000 up to 400,000 value. So necessarily, before even they approve the grant, these people go to the site, understand the need, and also identify whether your project is robust enough to sustain. And sometimes what happens is, if the project is small, your evaluation of the visit takes place on a random basis. They may come or they may not come. But if the project is over $100,000, they'll give the money in 2 installments. After the first installment has been expended, they'll come out to the project site. The cadres will come to do the site evaluation, and then they report back for the next installment to be paid. Lastly, the audit. An evaluation of the financial management and the oversight of the grant money is also done by expert auditors who are meant to look at that. This comes as a part of the stewardship. So the financial management systems followed by is called the cash basis. I'm not an auditor, so I can't tell much about it. What I understand is that utilization of money is booked at the time when you submit the utilization certificate. For example, if you have spent money in 2021, but you are reported, you have given the utilization certificate in 2022, financial year 2022 ending March, then the booking will be done in the financial year 2021, not 2020. So that is what I understand that. So because every project when you report, you've got to provide a utilization certificate signed by the external auditor, not your internal auditor, not a Rotarian. Lastly, very important, you've got to report before 31st of May for all the expenditure you have made as of 31st of March. If the project is not completed, you can provide an interim report. If the project is completed, you got to provide the final report. If the project goes on for 2 years, 3 years, every May, 31st May, you need to provide an interim report till the final report is complete, given within 2 months of the completion of the project. Well, friends, this is all I have to talk and share this morning. I'd like to close with these words of Mary Garrison, one of our sister clubs in District 5650. She said, "What an impact this wonderful organization had on my life. I can hold my head high with pride because I helped to eliminate polio, because I helped to educate thousands of students, because I helped to build numerous houses, schools, and medical clinics, because I'm helping to promote peace and global understanding. I'm doing all this because I'm a proud Rotarian. I'm sure all of you are proud Rotarians, and I wish you great going for the coming year when Gauri is a governor. Do as many global grant projects as possible. God bless you, friends. Thank you."
Thank you very much, sir, for the very detailed talk about the global grant. Could we stop sharing, please, sir? Yeah, I'll just give a 2-3 minutes for question and answers. If anybody would like to ask any question, they can just put it in the chat box and we will unmute you. I saw some raised hands earlier. BC Geeta Basri, do you have any questions? I'm very sure that there are many people who have not understood the whole thing about it. So, so please feel free to ask, because the doubts that you have are the doubts that most people have.
See, I got a solution, Gauri.
Yeah.
We have got Rotary Leadership Institute. You have in your chapter in your district also, we have got a exclusive session, 3 sessions on foundation, and that's the right forum for everybody to understand, because foundation is the most difficult part. Unless you're hands-on, you will not understand fully. I advise you to join us. I think some of RLM, Abhinandan was the coordinator once, Ravi was the coordinator once, PDG Ravi, and also I think few of them, a few of the Rotarians who have participated in RLA programs in the past, I advise them to participate that. We'll organize one RLA program exclusively for 3182 in the near future, so we'll understand this thing much better.
We'll do that, sir. Thank you so much. And thank you very much for joining us today and giving a wonderful talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If there are more questions, we will talk about
Okay.
the questions later. We'll go on to the next topic, grants application process by Mr. Roy Woman and Mr. Sumit Williams. I think Roy is not here and has not joined us. So I request Sumit William from South Asia office. He is a coordinator for grants from South Asia office. Sumit reviews all interim and final grant reports and follows up with concerned parties for missing information. And I'm sure there must be a lot of work that he has to do. So he'll be talking on grants application process. Over to you, Mr. Sumit William.
First of all, very good morning to all of you. And it is very nice to see lots of people attending this seminar. And I'll again introduce myself. My name is Sumit William. I'm working as senior coordinator in grants team at RESAV. And today I'll take you with the application part of the grant. I'll just share my. When you start an application, I'll tell you about the how you can apply an online application. So first you have to log in into My Rotary. If you are registered with My Rotary, if you are not registered, you first have to get registered, and then you can log in with your ID and password into My Rotary. By logging into My Rotary, you land on this page. On this page, you have to click on take action, and on the third column at under the apply for grants, you have to click on grant center. Then you will land on this page. It has like multiple options: home, apply for a grant, my action. If you click on my grants, that is a place where you can find the grants which are in draft mode, submitted mode, approved mode, past application, and the grants which are closed. And if you click on my actions, that is a place which will tell you what are the actions required by you which you have to do. So, but in this, we have to apply for a grant, then we have to click on apply for a grant. You'll land on this page. Under this, you have to select global grant and select let's begin. Then you'll land on this page, which is about basic information. This is a page until and unless you will not complete this page, your grant will not, grant number will not be generated. So first and foremost, you have to complete this like step, this first step. So your grant number will be generated after that. So this in here you have to tell what type of project it is, the host and international contacts, and after you have done, you have to click on save and continue. Then you can see the grant number gets generated on the right hand side. Then after that, you land on second step, which is committee members. Here you can tell the committee members of the project from the host sponsor located where the project is carried out and the international sponsors. Any conflict of interest also you can tell over here. And after that, you have to click on save and continue. You can add all the members. On the left hand side, it is saying add committee members. You can click on that and you can add. If you have any questions regarding any steps, you can see that there are some question marks showing on the right hand side. It will give you more information about each step. If you hover your mouse over there. In this page, you can save the application also for your future reference. You can take a PDF, like printout of it, and you can also delete the application from here. This page also gives you some of the resources which you may need while like filling out your application. So over here, you will be able to do all these things. Then about the project overview, which is the third step. Over here, you have to tell the main objective of the project. What is the goal of the project? What is the objective of the project? You have to write and click on save and continue. Then you will land on the fourth step, which is areas of focus. Now we have 7 areas of focus. So you have to select areas of focus as per the project over here. Then measuring success. Over here, you have to tell about the how will you measure the project impact over here. And these measures will automatically, whatever you will fill over here, these measures will automatically reflect in your report also. So you have to fill all the measures with what the project will impact on. On the sixth step, you have to select the location of the project, date and country of the project, where it is happening. On 7th, you have to select the participants, including any cooperating organization. If it is a VTT project, you can add travelers also. So this over here, you have to tell additional partners, volunteer travelers, sponsoring clubs or districts. Everything you can fill on step 7. Step 8 is about budget. Under local currency, as we are dealing with rupee, you have to select INR, and under like exchange rate, currently it is 77. However, when you are applying for a grant, it may change, increase or decrease. So accordingly, you have to fill in the exchange rate under the exchange rate column. And you can also add budget items and underneath what is the budget for this grant. Underneath, you can see that add items, add budget items uh, link is there. You can add budget items over there, and you can also upload the supporting documents over here. Now, step 7 is about funding. So you can add on like whatever fundings you are getting. For example, cash contribution from club, cash contribution from district, DDF, term gift, etc. You can fill all over here by clicking on add funding source. About the sustainability, you have to tell over here that project responds to community needs, what makes the project activities sustainable. You have to fill all these over here. Then 11th step is the step which needs to be which is the final step of submitting application. You can lock the application. The primary contact who is filling the application can lock the application from here. The application will move from draft status to authorization required status. The automatic emails accordingly will go to the club, club president in case of club sponsored grants, and district leaders in case of district sponsored grants, for them to authorize the report. As soon as they authorize the report, the grant will get submitted. Under this step, there is one thing which needs to be keep in mind, that after locking the grant, you will not be able, the primary contact and anyone will not be able to make any changes. So whatever changes you need to make, you have to make all the changes in the draft status. There are some tips about how you can apply for a grant. If you log into Grant Center, you will be able to find global grant application template. It is always advisable first to fill in that template for your reference, and as you are satisfied and you want to refer somebody about after filling this template, you can do so. And when you are confident that the grant application which I am going to fill online is as per the template which I have in my hand, so you can actually fill in the application at that time when you are confident that the global grant application template is fine and can be uploaded online. And the tips for applying a grant is give specific answers to the questions which the application will ask you. Describe your intent impact. The impact should not be it should be in proper numbers, what impact it will cause to a community. Use clear language and show how your project aligns to the foundation mission. These are the things which you'll have to keep in mind before you start working on actual application. These are some of the authorized, who can do the reviews and approvals for the grant. It is primary contact can view the application, edit and authorize the application. Club president can also do all these three things. Club treasurers can only view the application. District Rotary Foundation Chair DRFC can view, edit and authorize. And district governors can view and edit. And in case if the district DDF are being used for the grant, they'll also have to authorize the application, and so on and so forth. If we talk about grant application assessment, this is very important. If you are applying for a grant, if your grant world fund amount is up to $50,000, it will fall under level 1, and it will be reviewed by general secretary and areas of focus expert if necessary. If your grant is falling under world fund amount of $50,001 to $200,000, it will fall under level 2, and it will be reviewed by General Secretary, analyzed by an areas of focus expert, and there will be an interim site visit also from a cadre of technical advisors. If your grant is falling like from $200,001 to like World Fund is falling under $200,001 to $400,000, then it will fall under level 3 application, and it will be reviewed by General Secretary, trustees, expert in the areas of focus, and there will be interim site of visit by cadre. So if we talk about level 3 grants, which are the most voluminous grant in terms of World Fund, the application reviewed by trustees are like if your grant has been applied up till 1st March, it will be reviewed in June. Up till 1st June, it will be reviewed in September or October. Up till 1st October in January, up till 1st December, it will be reviewed in April. What makes your grant like denied or ineligible? If your project does not fit in any of the areas of focus, you have to keep in mind that you have to select the correct areas of focus, and your grant should be aligned with any of the 7 areas of focus. So it should fit under that. The grant should be sustainable. It should not end in, for example, as soon as you have completed your project, it should sustain and help the community for a longer period of time. The project benefits another organization's program. If there is a conflict of interest or it is benefiting the other organization's program, your application can be denied. And if community assessment was not taken, then your application can also be denied, because community assessment is uh, is a necessary item, a necessary step you have to take before you are applying for the application. If you are implementing a grant, first I've told you you have to apply the grant online on the grant center. Primary host and international sponsor must each establish a grant committee of 3 Rotary members. Your district which is involved in the grant activity should be qualified, as well as if it is a club sponsored grant, the club has to be qualified. You have to limit each grant, club as well as district wide, up to 10 open grants at a time. You can have 10 open grants at a time. After that, the grant will not be approved by the RGO. So you have to keep reporting and closing the grant as well. You can plan your contingencies up to 10% of the total budget, in order to offer protection from price increasing and currency fluctuations. You can include administrative cost up to 10% of the project budget, which may help you to like manage cost. You can like include a project manager, project specific overheads and administrative cost for cooperating organization. If your project have all these requirements, you can keep 10% as administrative cost. About the measure outcomes, also you can keep 10% of the budget for measuring project outcomes. Application that involves travel by scholars, VTT, and volunteers. So that kind of projects must be submitted 9 days before the travel. 90 days. Sorry, 90 days before the travel begins. If your grant application not submitted within 12 months after it is started, it will be cancelled. If your grant application isn't completed, approved within 6 months after it is submitted, it will get cancelled. So you have to keep all these things in mind. Now, the matching from international partner, if you are doing a global grant, has to be 15% from the international partner, minimum 15%. And if your grant has a term gift, it is up to the international partner. They can be a notional international partner as well. They can like contribute anything to the grant. However, term gift, if they are term gifts, the international partner can be notional partners. However, if there is no term gift involved, they have to contribute at least 15%, 15% of the total contribution, out of the total contribution. And now there's no match for the cash contributions. There is only 80% match for the DDF if the DDF is involved in the grant. These are the reporting requirements. I think it has already been covered. However, I'll just like to tell you that you have to uh, provide all the application for the activities up to 31st March every year, up till 31st of May if the progress is ongoing project, and if you have completed, it should be submitted within 2 months of the completion of the project. You have to apply, like you have to do the online reporting. You can upload everything now online, and you can give us an like a soft copy of undertaking in if you want all the applications to be uploaded and you don't want to send us the hard copy. You have both the options. You can send us the hard copy also, and if you don't want to send us the hard copy, you can upload everything with an undertaking that you will keep all the documents for the period of 8 years and will be produced as and when required. These are few of the formats of the utilization certificate and undertaking, and other things also you may find them on Rotary Foundation India's website. You can also find the reporting requirements and other necessary formats on Rotary Foundation India's website. This is the this is the like format of a signage which you may use, you should use while you are actually donating a equipment or something. It should be pasted like this on that. It should have Rotary Club's name, Rotary Club's International Projects country's name, and foundation's name. For any other information, you may contact Rizal Grant Staff, which is Roy John, myself, Nelson Abraham, and Sumit Sharma. I am taking care of District 3182. So you may contact directly to me on 011-422-50150, and you can also email me on sumit.william@rotary.org. About Regional Grant Officer, Ben Lopez is the new Regional Grant Officer for District 3182, and Payment Coordinator is Jaime Ruiz. So you can, while if you have any queries related to payment, you can write to Jaime Ruiz for that. Thank you. That is all from my side. And if you have any questions, we can answer them during the Q&A session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sumit Williams, for that informative talk. But could you just repeat what you said about when you have to give before June for when is it assessed?
It is about the level 3 grant, ma'am. If your grant World Fund is up to $200,000.
No, when do you have to submit for the assessment to occur?
That is what I'm saying. If your grant is level 3 grant, then only that those like grants will go for the review to the trustees. So those dates will be effective if your grant is that. If your grant is a simple grant under, for example, $200,000, then you don't require that.
Thank you so much, Sumit.
Madam, for answer for your question, it happens automatically. You need not ask for it to review and other things. Depending on the size of the grant, the foundation office takes care of all those reviews.
Thank you, sir. No, because he said June will be assessed in August and
No, all those things happen at the voting time. We don't do anything up. Once apply and keep quiet, that's all.
Okay, sir. So the earlier we apply, the better it is.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Sumit, you will be here for the question and answer session, or are you in a hurry to go back?
I think Roy will be joining.
He'll be joining.
Until Roy is not joining, I am there.
Okay, it will take another half an hour.
Sure.
After, yes. Okay, one of you will be there, isn't it? Thank you. Madam, we'll put the question for that session.
Yes, sir. We will do that. Yes. Thank you very much, Sumit. Very nice of you to come amidst all your other activities. Thank you so much. We now go on to RRFC, Manjunath Shetty. Sir, over to you to talk about the international partnership is the key. Manjunath Shetty, sir, he joined Rotary in 1997, became the district governor of RID 3190 in 2014-15. He has set records in all the projects he has been involved in. For example, as district blood donation chairman in 2010 and 11, he collected 52,000 units of blood. He set a record in membership and TRF. He raised $1.31 million for the foundation. He contributed $25,000, and he and his wife Shailaja are level 2 major donors. He is appointed as RRFC for Zone 7 from 22-23 period. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, DG Gauri. Friends, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir. Clear.
Yeah, my slide is visible.
Yes,
yes,
sir.
it's visible.
Okay.
Only you have to go to slideshow, that's all.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Okay.
friends, ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಈ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಹೌದು ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಲೆನೋವು ಅಂತ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸಮಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ವೆನೆವರ್ ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅನ್ನೋಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಟ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್. ಐ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಈ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ರೊಟೇರಿಯನ್, ಲೈಕ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳು SSLC ಆಗಿ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಕನ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಟ್. ಇವಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸೋ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್, ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸೋ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್, ಬೆಟರ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಆರ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಬೆಟರ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಕಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ರೊಟೇರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಈ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ತಲೆನೋವು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕು? ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್ಚಿಂಗ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್, ಅರೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಮನಿ, ಬೆಟರ್ ಡೂ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸಚ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, once we take up anything, it is not difficult at all. ಅದು ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲವೇ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ GK is there, a lot of your people, Ravi ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, Abhi is there. All these people, they have gone through it. And ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಸಮ್ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನಾನೇನ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ರಿಯಲಿ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಗೌರಿ if at least 5% of these people gathered today, if they take up grant, those clubs who have not taken up grant at all so far, take up grant project. We are all there with you. I think this is our assurance. One. Secondly, what I think Dr. Narayan would agree with me, in fact, a Rotarian, ಒಂದು 10, 15, 20 ವರ್ಷ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋ Rotarian, comparing to him, if you have not have done any grant, his knowledge and his standing in Rotary, comparing to a 4 or 5 years old Rotarian who has done few grant project or one grant project, you think almost it will be equivalent. So I would say, give a little more concentration on this. Now, this slide, what I'm giving, I will not give much, emphasis on these slides because lot of slides you have seen. And by this time, some of you would have got a little bored also. This problem comes, when we are on the online meeting. So let me start by telling international partnership is the key. Now, what is one essential requirement for the global grant? ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ರಾಜೇಂದ್ರ ರಾಯ್ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, it is international partner ಬೇಕು. Now, international partner ಯಾರಾಗಬೇಕು? It has to be an international Rotary club or an international Rotary club or maybe an international Rotary district. One of these. This is the requirement. Now, global grant project is sponsored by partnership, one host sponsor, one international sponsor. These are the prime requirements. Now let's go to the next. What is this responsibility of host sponsor? Initiate the project, conducts a community assessment which are already, I think we have discussed, manages project implementation, budget, local assistance, training ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ. Once we identify the project ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನೇನು ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಬೇಕೋ we have to identify, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Who can train these people? Receives project fund, finally report. ಇಷ್ಟು ಈ ಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸರ್ ನಮ್ದು ಕೆಲಸ. ನಂತರ what is the responsibility of international sponsor? Provides financial assistance, provides technical support, project tasks that can be done remotely. Remote ಆಗಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತದ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ, that can be done by them. And participate in service. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ they will also be so much interested to come and see the project. When they come here, they visit, they can hands-on participate. ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಅವರು For so many years, he has invited so many people from many countries for the polio program, and how much they enjoy, how much they appreciate the work we do. Hagene, ನಮಗೆ ಅವರ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. We are also able to keep in touch with them for further work. So these are all few of their responsibilities. Responsibility of both sponsors is must be qualified to participate, develop a project plan, appoint committee. See, this is one thing which you should be careful about. ಯಾರನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. When you select your people, appoint persons who are interested, who have some knowledge about that, and who have some vision about the program, and who have that drive. ಇಂಥವ್ರನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು you appoint a committee. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬರನ್ನ we have to, this committee ನಲ್ಲಿ, let me come to the project committees. Both the sponsors should form the project committee. Should have a minimum of 3 members each. Should designate 1 member as primary contact. They are accountable and should report to their respective boards. They are not just to keep on doing their work on their own, but they should also see that they should report time to time. The club president and the governor should be aware of what is going on. So these are the things. Now, of course, this also, I think Rajendra has touched this program, this developing effective partnership, international partnership or strength of global grants. Clearly defined responsibility. Now, ibru kelsa madbekandre responsibilities clear agi define agirbe. Hagene have a detailed plan of action. Develop a clear and open line of communication. Have knowledgeable and motivated partners. So mutual respect. ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದನ್ನು ಆದಷ್ಟು ಆಂಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುವ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದಾಗ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಮೇ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಸೋ ಸ್ಮೂತ್. ಸೊ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಫೋರ್ಸಿ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಆಬ್ಸ್ಟಕಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮ್ಯೂಚುವಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ and we should have a clear line of communication always. Now, I think this may be a little of interest to a lot of you. How to find a potential partner? Yoga global grant ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಸರಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ಬೇಕು. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು? ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಗೋ. ನಾವು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕುಳಿತರೆ ನಮ್ಮಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಇದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಯಾರು ಬರ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ nobody will come. You got to publicize about it. You got to talk to few people first in your own district, the experienced people, the leaders of your district. Then nodi network of international, there are a lot of international committees. You should also log on to the website, find out about this committee, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ network ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. Then there is something called project fairs. You know what is this project fairs? It's very interesting. Rotary allows different districts to conduct their fairs, project fairs. There are fairs being conducted by West Africa group, East Africans they conduct. Sometimes even there is a fair conducted by European Union. In fact, there is something called annual European fair. They also conduct. In fact, some of the districts in USA, they also conduct these fairs. Especially it is particularly for particular subject. Like for example, clean drinking water. On that they may hold a project fair. They may also look where such project can be implemented. Where are the people who are looking for it? Nantra Rotary showcase anta ondide. If you go to website, you will find this also Rotary showcase. You can also showcase your project. Nimde and requirement is showcase there. Put your district number, put your references, tell that this is what we are looking, what we are working on. If anybody is interested, please show your interest. Come forward. Rotary Action Group. Now, Rotary Action Group, we are aware now, more than 70, 75 action groups are there. For everything now, motorcycling action group, wine tasting action group, tennis playing action group with there, biking action group with there. There are so family exchange in the action group. There are so many action groups, golfing action groups with there. These action groups basically give us a platform to communicate. Now, once we become friends, then we can talk more about Rotary. Then we can talk more about our project. Then we can invite them to our functions here, to our projects here. They may get interested, and that's how we are getting international partners. Rotary discussions group. Now, discussion group, you can go to website. You can join a discussion group. You can form a discussion group. You can browse for a discussion group. All these discussion groups give us an opening to show ourselves, to also invite friends from elsewhere. Nantra, networking in Rotary events. What are the Rotary events where we can network? ನಮ್ಮ district governor elect ಅವರು they go for the international assembly ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. You all go for the international convention. There are presidential conferences, at least 5 to 6 presidential conferences held every year in different parts of the world. And then, you have so many, your own representative might go to COL. There are so many such events. In sometimes it may be, the zonal institutes of different zones. People go there also. They make friends. Sometimes they're invited by their friends there. So this is another area where we can, try to network. Now, club connections. How do you get the club connection? You all know your own people from the clubs would have gone as GST team chair, or as GST team member, or as alumni somewhere, or you would have supported a scholarship program where an alumni is there, or your own club to club contact on various ways. There would have been family exchange visitors who would have come. You would have met them over dinner or lunch. So these are all the club connections where we have to exploit. Then, of course, one of the most successful program is this personal contacts. I was recently there last week for this convention in Houston. I'll tell you, there are so many Indians. My host, an Indian who is also a Rotarian, he has invited nothing less than at least around some 10, 15, families to meet us. And all these families, they're interested to do something back in their native place. They don't know how to do it. If at all you contact 1 or 2 such people who are well off, because most of our people who have gone, settled there 15, 20, 30, 40 years in that, they're all quite well off. Mostly doctors, engineers, whatever position there. They want to give something, but they don't know. They can't take up the trouble of going there, starting this project and all. If at all you have any such contact, simply what you have to tell is, okay, we will give you, instead of simply sending the money, we will give you a contact of the Rotary club there, the Rotary district there. We will help you. Rajendra Rai is there. I am there. No, GK is there. All of us, you can pull up our resources. We can give you contact of the local Rotary club. They can simply go, meet them, give the fund after making sure that it is going for the right project, which those clubs can be a partner with us. So these are all the very, very interesting way of getting different contact for international partners. It is definitely not so difficult once we are into it, once we show our interest, once we push ourselves for doing this project. ಇವಾಗ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ರೋಟ್ರಾಟ್ ಕ್ಲಬ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅವರು ಎಲಿಜಿಬಲ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ. From July 22, Rotary Club also can do the project, grant project. Now, eligibility ಏನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ? They should have previously partnered with ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು Rotary Club ಅಥವಾ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಜೊತೆ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು as a participant. With that, they should have joined them. One. Secondly, one of the partner has to be Rotary Club. ಇವಾಗ Rotary Club ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ Rotary Club. ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಕಡೆ Rotary Club ಇದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮವ್ರ Rotary Club ಇರಬೇಕು. And both these partners must be qualified. Unless they are qualified, they are not eligible. Now, cooperating organization. ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ you can also take a lot of organizations to this project. Can provide cooperating organization join ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಈ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ಮೊದಲೇ ನಾವು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. We have to also bring it in our project. The international TRF also should be aware of it. Our strength in, they can also give fund, can provide technical expertise to us, because see, for example, water project ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ there are water experts who have years of experience in doing water project. It will be a very good input for us. Educationists, they can help us. Also they have to provide advocacy. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಏನು ಈ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ there is a necessity of advocacy to convince people, whether it's an international partner, whether it's Rotary, TRF, or whether it is this community. There is an element of advocacy required to project this. Whatever project we are going to do, what is the benefit of it? How it can improve the, the life of the community there? How it can be long-standing? How year on year, how much difference it can make for the people of that place? Itara advocacy. Nantra, they will be able to help us in training, in implementing the project. So many times we require certain kind of training. Nantra, impart education. These are all the help if we have cooperating organization. After all, you see, Rotary is always a cooperating. We always are partnering with others. Our success in polio also is by partnering with so many big organizations, including World Health Organization, with the governments. So, ee tara partnering now nodabodu grants kuda. Then cooperating organization collaborating with another organization can enhance the quality and effectiveness of the project. When you work with a cooperating organization, complete a MOU before beginning the project. These are all planning stage alli idella barutte. Yaar hatra ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ it has to be very, very open. It has to be transparent. We should have written down, policy for joining hands. So this has to be followed. Friends, Yoga, this is the slides. I know it is quite a time hearing all this may not be always, very conducive many a times. It may not be interesting also, because grant is a kind of a serious subject. But don't get frightened of this. By so many slides, so many talks, never get frightened of it. Unless you are take ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು first step ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ, you never reach the last step. Every great goal, whatever you achieved, has happened because we have taken the first step. ನಂದು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಅಪೀಲ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, year on year they make it. Let at least 5 to 10 new clubs come to governor, take the help of DRFC, seriously discuss and get into the grant program today. We are all with you. I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really a wonderful talk. And I got so much information from that and learned so many things from you. Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure everyone has cleared many of their doubts from listening to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We now go on to the last topic of today, is stewardship issues by PDG Rotarian G.K. Balakrishnan. He's an engineering graduate from Manipal and owns an engineering business, GK Enterprises. Belongs to RC Mysore West and has served as a district governor in 91 and 92. He has received the President's Golden Citation Award. He has been an RI rep several times, has received the Rotary Foundation's Meritorious Service Award in 1993 and TRF's Highest Distinguished Service Award in 1995. He is a major donor and has also received the Service Above Self Award in 1999. Sir, welcome you to the meeting, sir, and over to you.
Thank you, Governor-elect Gauri. District Governor MGR, Governor-elect Dr. Gauri, RRFC Manjunath Shetty, DRFC Dr. P. Narayan, friends of Rotary Foundation, team of Imagineers, good morning to each one of you. Stewardship. ಬಹಳ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ರಾಜ ಮಹಾರಾಜರ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೋಡ್ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಇರಿಗೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್, ಹೆಲ್ತ್, ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ they used to appoint what they called as ಪಾರುಪತ್ತೆಗಾರರು. ಪಾರುಪತ್ತೆಗಾರರು is nothing but stewards. ಅವರ ಕೆಲಸ ಏನಿತ್ತು? They used to see the funding from the bokkas of Mysore Maharaja, and then they used to see the implementation work, quality work properly, and they used to report back to the Maharaja, ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಅಚ್ಚುಕಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. This is stewardship. Friends, stewardship is the cornerstone of the Rotary Foundation. It is to ensure the careful management of the Rotary Foundation grants, to educate Rotarians on proper and effective grant management. Please mark this word, effective grant management. On the whole, it is a careful oversight of spending the grants. Trustee, incoming trustee Bharat said in one word, trust. ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಎನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದರು. Now, how do you get those grants? DRFC, Dr. P. Narayan explained it so beautifully, along with Rajendra Rai and RRFC Manjunath Shetty. First, you have to identify the need. You have to identify the resources. And then you have to fill the application as said by Sumit. And then proper execution with best quality assessment and proper supervision for the purpose when grants are given. And you should also see that that particular funding is used for that particular project where the project report is done. And then finally, of course, reporting. Now let's go to the slides. Friends, before I explain about the stewardship, Charity Navigator for the 11th consecutive year proclaims 4 stars out of 4 stars category to the Rotary Foundation for the best management stewardship in terms of transparency and accountability. Now let's see, this session will cover what is stewardship, how to strengthen grant management and transparency, the common stewardship issues, or maybe problems pertaining to the stewardship, and good stewardship practices. Am I audible, friends?
Yes.
Okay. Suddenly it got cut. Using Rotary Foundation funds in a responsible and transparent manner is the first act of stewardship. Implementing grant projects according to Rotary Foundation policy, Dr. Narayan DRFC has explained it in detail. Proper grant management and financial compliance is also a must. No, my audibility is cut regularly. I don't know what.
You're audible, sir. You're audible, sir.
I'm audible. Thank you. Thank you, Amit. Now, what are the consequences of poor stewardship? I have listed a few things. Loss of Rotary funds because it is funded by Rotary and the foundation. Damages Rotary's reputation. In fact, in many areas, I've heard Rotary Indreno meeting, greeting, and eating club manta shuru madidare. That reputation will be worsened. So we'll have to, that public image will be distorted. So it damages Rotary's reputation, weakens project, limits impact, negatively impacts beneficiaries. Even the beneficiary will get a negative impact, risk sanctions, and it fails Over and above all this, it fails the four-way test of Rotary. Next, please.
You are muted. No.
Safeguards Rotary's funds. Why a good stewardship is important. Number one is it safeguards Rotary's funds. Number two, maintains Rotary's reputation. Number three, enables strong, long-lasting projects with positive impact on beneficiaries. Number four, allows clubs to continue global grant work without fear of sanctions. This is very important, friends. Many clubs, as informed by RRFC in 3182, have not tried a global grant. So this is the right time because it allows all clubs, you are all qualified. So it allows all clubs to have a global grant with your international partner. And finally, it passes the four-way test also. Involvement of full club, communication between host and international partners, communication with beneficiary community, those who gets the benefit. It controls of project funds remains with Rotarians until grant purchases are made. Next, please. Now, stewardship and the project life cycle, you can see this circle. The first one is to plan. Planning is a must. For any project, as a matter of fact, planning is a must, so you should do planning. Number two, acquiring resources, the money required, which is very, very important. You have to acquire the resources for that particular project of your planning. Number three, project implementation, proper implementation, quality implementation is what we mean when we say project implementation. Number four, evaluation, which is a must. Evaluate the project and promote it further This is the project life cycle of a good stewardship. Next, please. Now, as told earlier, go back, please. Go back. No. Previous. Now, you need to have a host sponsor. It initiates the project, conducts a community assessment, manages project implementation and budget, provides local assistance and support, receives project funds. This is the responsibility of the host sponsor. Now, what is the responsibility of the international sponsor? It provides financial and technical support, performs tasks that can be done remotely, visits the project site if possible. That may not be possible in every case, but if possible, if they visit the project, then they will have full satisfaction. They must be qualified to participate in a global grant, which you are qualified, develop project plan, have project committees that collaborate with each other, start committees, partner with a cooperating organization if needed. Next, please. Project teams, how do they work? Host club and international club. That is just a slide how the coordination communication takes place, the plan should have. Next, please. Now, before the project begins, how do you do the stewardship planning? Now, one is disclose any potential conflicts of interest involving any sponsor club members. If some club member is interested in that particular project where he is involved, please do not encourage that. Open a bank account to be used exclusively for the grant project. You have to open a bank account exclusively for this specific project. The bank account should require 2 signatories for all withdrawals. 2 signatories is a must for all withdrawals. Next, please. During project implementation, to be a good stewardship plan, these are the points. Regularly visit beneficiaries. You have to visit the project regularly. You have to monitor project progress. ಅದರ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಯನ್ನ ನೀವು ಗಮನಿಸ್ತಾನೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಡೈರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. Adhere to project plan and financial plan. Use checks or bank transfer whenever possible. Next, please. And during the implementation, you can update and share at your regular club meetings. Go to the club, the beneficiary club, the project, the beneficiaries and the club which is undertaking the project. Go and update what is happening month-wise, week-wise, day-wise, whenever it is possible. It's a good stewardship practice. Next, please. During project implementation, friends, you have request invoices. Please request all the invoices and receipts for all grant expenses. Please procure invoices and receipts for all grant expenses. ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡುವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದರ ಇನ್ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ರಸೀದಿಯನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಗುಡ್ ಸ್ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಶಿಪ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಲೆಡ್ಜರ್. ಒಂದು ಲೆಡ್ಜರ್ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಆ ಲೆಡ್ಜರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಬರೆದಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನೀವು ಡೇಟ್ ವೈಸ್, ಟೈಮ್ ವೈಸ್ ಬರೆದಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಕೀಪ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕಪ್ ಕಾಪೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್. ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಭದ್ರವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಡಾಕೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಬಿರುನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡಿ ಎನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಗುಡ್ ಸ್ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಶಿಪ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. After project implementation, see the impact here with people. It measures the results of your project. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಜನ ಸೇರಿ ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಶಹಬಾಸ್ಗಿರಿ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದರ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ವಿತ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಷಿಯರೀಸ್. ಇದಾದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಬೆನಿಫಿಷಿಯರಿ ಯಾರು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋರು ಆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಬೆನಿಫಿಷಿಯರಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೋ ಅವರ ಬಳಿ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಸಂಬಂಧವನ್ನು ಕಲ್ಪಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಕೀಪ್ ಆಲ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 5 years. ಈ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗ್ರಾಂಟು, ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿದ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟು, ಇದರ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಹಣಕಾಸು ನೀವು ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ 5 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಕಾಲ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. Reporting, which is very, very important. If you do not report, you will not be eligible. The district will not be eligible for other grants like the next grants. So reporting is a must, and which is very, very, very important. Submit a report on the project's progress every year via the online grants center. You can do it online grant center. Include all retained financial documentation with each report. ಪ್ರತಿ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಲಗತ್ತಿಸಿ ಅದನ್ನ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ಸ್ಟಿವರ್ಡ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಪದಗಳು: ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪರೆನ್ಸಿ, ಅಕೌಂಟಬಿಲಿಟಿ, ಕೊಲಾಬರೇಷನ್. Proactively and openly share information between sponsors and the Rotary Foundation. Accountability. Adhere to the Rotary Foundation guidelines. Sumit has explained it in detail. If you have any questions, I'm sure Roy or Sunit will answer that. Collaboration. Share knowledge, best practices, and lessons learned by reports and training. That is what collaboration is. Next, please. Examples of stewardship issues: no community assessment, no competitive bids for project expenses, undisclosed conflict of interest, advance transfers to vendors, cash payments with no receipts. You have to obtain receipts for every payment. Sustainability components not completed. Project managed entirely by one Rotarian. Please avoid giving one Rotarian all the powers. That is bad stewardship. These are the stewardship issues many clubs have faced globally. Next, please. Thank you, friends. This in a nutshell is the stewardship, and I'm sure 3182 is bubbling with a lot of activities. Congratulations to District Governor MGR for and DRFC, Dr. P. Narayan, for almost achieving the goal what we have said during 21-22. My hearty congratulations and compliments to both of you. And also, I wish Dr. Gauri and team a very, very successful foundation year, Imagine year of 22-23. Congratulations to past Governor H.L. Ravi for that great endowment fund contribution. Thank you, friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful talk on the stewardship. Yes, it's really very, very important to have very good transparency. That's what gives credit to Rotary. And for the 14th year successfully, we have won the 4-star in Navigator. This thing have given us a 4-star for the 14th consecutive year. So I thank you, sir, for that talk. And we go on to a short session of question and answers. Please raise your hands for any questions that you would like to ask, or put it in the chat box, whatever is fine. Anjana Shetty.
There was a question from Gudappa Kasubi. I think
Yes,
I'll
sir.
answer that question, asking, when do you open a bank account? At the time of submission of the application, you have to have a bank account details. Like, along with the submission, you have to fill in the bank details. Is Sumitra somebody there? Roy John?
There,
Sumit? Oh, Roy John, I have a question for you. Sumit? Sumit Roy John.
Sumit is there, sir. Sumit is there.
Sumit, I got a small question. Hello? Hello?
Roy John is also there. I can't
Roy?
mute myself.
Hi, John, Sumit. I got a small question. This review of global grant applications. Can Delhi office do it, or we are always have to submit to Evanston only?
Roy John is not able to unmute.
No, not his.
Roy John, you can unmute now.
Roy John?
Yes. Roy John is, I'm not able to unmute. You can now unmute.
Yes, now I'm unmuted.
Yes.
First of all, good afternoon to all the participants. The pre-review has to be done by Evanston, not by South Asia office, because the applications are processed by them.
Okay. Because my reason for asking is they are taking quite some time for review. I thought whether you could as well do it. That's all.
No, we are only entitled to review the reports, not the applications. So they will be doing it.
Now we are clear that the final report, all documents, soft copies can be uploaded. You need not send the hard copies, isn't it? Unless you ask for them, isn't it?
Yes, sir. All the soft copies have to be uploaded in the grant center along with the report, online report. In case the club or district is not able to retain it for a period of 8 years, the originals, then they can send it to us. Otherwise, there is no need.
Okay.
So I got one
more question was there from Jagdish Sarja from Shimoga North.
No.
Have you, Jagdish Sarja from Shimoga North? Can you highlight him, please?
He has to be unmuted.
Jagdish Sarja, please ask your question.
Yes, sir. My question is that what is the what is the reason behind that there should be an international partner to undertake a global grant project? If it is only for the financial support, that can be met by the domestic clubs also. That means within the country.
No, as far as the foundation policy is concerned, every global grant has to have a host and international partner. Host partner is that partner who is within the country, and the international partner is that partner which is outside of the project country. The basic idea behind this is that Rotary is an organization which believes in world understanding and peace. So because of that, we need to have an international partner, and that is the policy of the Rotary Foundation.
No, what I mean to say is, if a club is finding a partner to implement a global grant project for the financial support of some domestic clubs in the interest of the community, that can be implemented. That is only my submission.
Sir,
No,
another policy of the foundation is that at least 15% of the contribution of the total contribution of the host and international should come from outside the country. That is from the international partner.
15%, isn't it?
15%.
Yes, 15% minimum. So that is the
15%.
criteria. So that's why it is mandatory that you should have an international partner for financial support.
I think GK had an answer. GK, you had an answer.
Yes, in
Project
addition
ಗೆ
to what he
financial
said,
support
I have
ಇದ್ರೆ-
one point. The very word is global grant. Global means it is, you should have, Rotary is not national, Rotary is international. So you will have to have an international partner, number one. Number two is it is called as global grant. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಅದು ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಾದ್ಯಂತ ಸೇರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕೂಟ ಆಗಿರುವ ಕಾರಣ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
And you can do other projects, need not do
No,
global
no,
projects.
yeah.
You have,
That
Local
I agree.
community service projects are always welcome.
That I agree. That I agree.
yes.
Sheshappa had a question. How many months are required to close the project after submitting the final report? I don't know whether your question is right. Only final report is submitted after you close the project. There is no question of how many months are required, isn't it? Sheshappa, are you there? Sheshappa? No, your question is how many months are required to close the project after submitting the final report. The question of final report comes only after you close the project. There is no question of any final report before you close the project. Once you close the project, you have 2 months to submit the final report. That is one of the stipulations. Veena Suresh asked for PPT. Yes, definitely we will share it with you. I request Manjunath Shetty to send the PPT to us, and I will get the Rajendra Rai's PPT also. We will share with the clubs. There is no issue.
Yeah, we already shared it with Vijay.
Okay, then we'll see that if whichever club wants them, we'll share them.
Seminar has been recorded, sir, so that will be given to
Everything is
everybody.
recorded.
Great.
Everything.
Great.
Okay. Dr. Gauri, Ravi had a question.
Ravi had a question, yes.
What is your question, Ravi?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Gauri. Am I audible, Dr. Gauri?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Audible,
Fine.
audible.
Yeah, I have a question on district grants. So far, we had district grants available for clubs who had paid $2,000 3 years prior and were eligible for 1/4 of that, that is $500. Do you propose to continue the same for the year, Rotary year 22-23? Or do you want to get it down? Because once I heard some of the clubs complaining that 500 is too much because they should have contributed $2,000 3 years prior, and then they should be eligible this year for $500. What is your proposal for the year 22-23 for district grants eligibility for clubs?
To be honest with you, I've not really thought into it, sir. I have to discuss with my team.
Last MGR must be able to say what was the
No,
thing in place.
I'll answer this. 5,000 is not a pool.
No,
With the
500.
available funds.
Not 5,500.
I know, with the available funds for the district grant, just to encourage clubs to have a sizable project, we fixed $500 as the minimum qualifying fund. 500 means about $35,000. There are clubs which have contributed $10. There are clubs which have contributed $20. And if you give a project worth about $5, $10, they can't do much about it. So to see that a sizable project is implemented, we fixed last year, for example, MDR period, we fixed $400, not $500. That is $1,600 contribution with $400. That means about 30,000 rupees. They could do some project. That's all. It's only a criterion on which we thought a sizable project could be done. A project worth 10,000, it is not, we thought it is not fit to be called as a district grant. That's all. There's nothing like that. And for the next year, we have to sit with Dr. Gauri and others to find out what the limit and what are all the other things, what is the contribution pattern and other things, then we'll have to take a call.
One more suggestion, Dr. Gauri. If you can see that it is done earlier, the planning is done earlier and the clubs get the details of their eligibility, they can plan their district grants. That is my suggestion. It comes in the fag end of the year. Once you finish.
No, Ravi, I don't agree with you. During Rajaram's period, the proposals went in as early as December. This year also the proposal went in December. So the clubs had almost 3 months to plan their project.
Can it not be earlier, Dr. Narayan?
Yeah, we'll try.
We will do it earlier, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
we'll try.
We'll certainly do it within the next month or so. Yes. Anjanath Bhatt had a question. Is there anything else, sir, which you would ask PTG Ravi, sir? Anything else?
No, nothing else.
Yeah. Anjanath Bhatt.
Prashant Hegde, any question?
No, Manjunath, but he can unmute.
Prashant Hegde, any question?
No, not Prashant Hegde. Manjunath Bhatt had a question.
Okay.
And Manjunath Bhatt, please unmute yourself and then Kelkolli.
Yes. I already put one question in chat form.
Kelly, what?
So from Rotary Brahmawar, we undertake centenary significant project, that is a free mental health camp, and continued from last 17 years. Already 227 camp is completed successfully. For each camp, we need nearly 75,000 for giving free medicine to the beneficiary. So my question is, can we apply under global grant to make up that cost? Yearly, we need minimum 10 lakh for that particular project. Whether we are eligible.
$10 lakhs global grant agodilla, Manjunath. Minimum for a global grant is anything.
That's correct.
Above $30,000. Your project is eligible, the size should be enhanced.
Okay.
But under disease prevention and treatment, supply of medicine can be a component, but size of the project just I hope Manjan Shetty.
Okay, definitely that we can do. Okay.
Manjan Shetty, I thought you were right. Why, John? Am I right? Right. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Dr. Bhartesh has a question.
This is a specific question on relating to a grant. I don't know whether this platform is good enough to clarify that particular question.
I would say he can send an email to addressing to me. I'll look at it.
Sir, Sumit, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm saying
No.
he can send an email to me. I'll look into it.
Okay. I think Bhartesh has got. That's why I told. It's a pointed question. It can be.
It's related to one-on-one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Already Raijan has responded saying that Sumit William will look into that. So, okay.
I think we will end the question and answer session. We have just had a very fruitful seminar from various learned people who are experts in their particular field. And we have this organization, the Rotary Foundation, lets us raise funds liberally to this organization, as every penny does some good somewhere in the world. This is my concluding remarks. So let's all develop the art of giving. That's very important. As Dr. Pandya said, DRFC Narayan said, we should give when we want to get. So let us increase our TRF donation for every year, not only the 22, 23, but every year we must make it a point to give to the foundation. Let us all develop the art of giving. Today we are going to, it has always been a misconception that doing a global grant is an extremely difficult process. But having done a few, I realized that once you start doing it, it will not get really very difficult. The most important aspect of doing a grant is to select the project properly. If you select the project which can really make a difference in the community, then you will not have any problem in finding an international partner, nor will you have problems getting the money for the project. Donations will automatically come. My humble request to all the Rotarians gathered here is to do more and more grants and projects which will be impactful and service-oriented. Wishing you all a great 22-23. I wish you all the very, very best, and I'm always here to help you out, do more projects and do more grants. That brings concludes the seminar. I now request. Sorry.
DGN.
Yeah, I know. I'm going on to that, sir. Yes. And I request DGN BC Geeta to give her remarks. Highlight.
Geeta.
Geeta's gone, I think.
Ilva.
May I request DGND Devanand to give his remarks.
Good afternoon, my friends. We had today, everyone can hear me? You can hear me, no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We had today a very important and informative and educative seminar on grants management. I congratulate DG Dr. Gauri for arranging such a important and successful seminar today. We had a galaxy of wonderful speakers who had expert knowledge and experience about their subject. First of all, our PRID trustee, Dr. Pandya, inaugurated today's seminar and spoke about the grants management and how Rotary is defined. Actually, he has told about Rotary is defined by our actions, and irrespective of our positions in Rotary, whether we are Rotary Governor, Assistant Governor, Rotary President, or Rotary International Director or President, whatever it may be, our actions will talk about the Rotary. He also explained why people will trust our Rotary Foundation. That is because of our good stewardship in the Rotary Foundation management. Grants are sanctioned by good stewardship. That's why we have a very good name in the world. We had also DRFC spoke about Dr. P. Narayan, grants and overview. In his speech, he has told global grants is a sustainable and measurable project. He also spoke about these projects should be humanitarian projects and real needs of the community. Actually, he has also spoke about the global grants, TDF, World Fund, etc. during today's seminar. We had also PDJ Rajendra Rai. He has spoke about how to conceive and plan a global grant project. A magic of grant. Practical project done for a Pakistani patient also he has told, and 6 steps to sustainability.
We had with us today Samit William, a grant coordinator. He gave tips to how to apply the grants. And we had DRFC Manjuna Shetty, who spoke about international partnership is the key. How to find a potential partner. And our PDG and ARFC GK Balakrishnan. He is our role model and spoke about stewardship issues. What is poor stewardship? Why is good stewardship is important in the Rotary global grants or whatever grants or whatever accounts in the Rotary, whether your district or in the club. So all this, because of all these good speakers, we had whatever doubts we had in our mind about the global grants or whatever the grants, and it is cleared by all our good speakers, all the 6 good speakers of today's seminar. Once again, I thank each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir, for staying on till the end. And very nice of you. Thank you so much. I now request our DRFC, our learned sir, Dr. P. Narayan, to give the closing remarks, and we'll end the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, District Governor-elect Gauri, for giving me this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks and also make the closing remarks. Friends, we had a fairly successful grant management seminar. I think whatever information the clubs needed have been given by our resource persons. Particularly, I thank our trustee-elect, who has been a very seasoned Rotarian, who is the past our director, Dr. Bharat Pandya, was so clear when he made a presentation about what the grants all mean about, and particularly stressed on the stewardship. And Rajendra Rai, with his very effective voice, he gave a beautiful picture about the details of the nitty-gritty of the global grant. I thought how to go about in preparing a global grant. Of course, we have committed to work with past Governor Manyar Shetty as RRFC, as having seen Manyar Shetty as the committed man. I'm sure he's going to get things done in his own style, and our zone will have a new era under RRFC Manyar Shetty. Manyar Shetty, ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಶುಭಾಶಯ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದಿನ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ಝೋನ್ 7 ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಟಾಪ್ ಝೋನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭರವಸೆ ನಮಗಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹಾರೈಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ.
Thank you for your blessings.
We are going to take this zone into higher grades, and I'm sure we are going to do that. Thank you very much. And the staff from the RISAO, both Sumit and Roy John, were there to give a clear picture about how to apply for a grant and the nitty-gritty of application of a grant. It's not all that difficult. Only thing is, as everybody was pointing out, everything looks difficult unless you get into it. Once you start doing the job, things open up by themselves. Particularly the software the Rotary Foundation has developed for global grants is so good. It leads you into the next stage. It doesn't stop you anywhere. You have to be, only thing is you have to have the data on your table. You can go and give filling it up. And our GK, a seasoned Rotarian, and stewardship means GK and GK means stewardship. Comparison and bada ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತು. ಪಾಲ್ಪತ್ತಿದ್ರು. Yes, Rotary ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಪಾಲ್ಪತ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಅದು ಸ್ಟೀವರ್ಡ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಪಾಲ್ಪತ್ತಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ. I'm glad to inform GK and all others in this session that our district, as far as stewardship and reporting is concerned, has maintained 100% compliance for the last 3 years. That's a great achievement. I request everyone to keep going with the 100% compliance. I may be looking a bit irritating sometimes for some people who are involved in the global grants, because my ambition is to keep this 100% tag always going. The others, Devanand, I think you are very good in making a summary of all the events that happened. If somebody wants to epitomize what happened today, I should take your notes. You have done it. You have done
Thank
it.
you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
and I thank everybody. I was seeing past Governor Rajaram, but he did not raise any question. I thought he would raise some question. Rajaram, but Abhinandan Shettu, our district governor, made opening remarks. Rajaram, Ramchandramurthy, countdown start agilla. Count up start agidya. Governorship mugudanta kelsa jasti irutte. Don't think that you'll be jobless.
I will definitely assist you.
Okay. No, assist the district. So I thank every one of you for your valuable time. Sunday morning, coming away from your family and attending a seminar is not a joke. And thank every one of you for this wonderful participation. We had a very good question and answer session. Madam, you have started well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I always GK quote product you are doing things in the right way. I'm sure 2022-23 will be one of the greatest years in the history of Rotary District 3182. Friends, now the second thing is the fruit of the eating is in the pudding. What you do next year decides on what happens for the district. I request every one of you to participate in the Rotary Foundation. Number one, contribute. Number two, take the advantage of Rotary Foundation and participate in the grants. There is no area where your grant cannot go through. I don't have any pending application on my table. All the applications have gone through some sort of review, processing, and all those things. I request you to get into this business. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much for participating in this seminar.
Thank you so much, sir, for those good wishes. And yes, as our DRFC said, P. Narayan said, we need to really now, you understood a little bit of what global grants is about. For the year 22-23, let every club try to do some sort of a project and try to involve rural clubs and also on Rotary clubs and get involved with your global grant project. So my sincere wish is that you do more and more global grant. If there is problem, please contact DRFC. You can contact RRFC, Manjunath Shetty, and then I'm sure, and GK sir, to give you an international partner who will help you around and to write down that global grant, because writing down that global grant is not an easy process. It requires a little experience. And when you do it along with somebody who knows how to do it, it makes things, the whole process a lot easier. So I wish you all the very, very best. And thank you all so much for staying on till the end. Now we'll take a photograph and we'll see who are there till the end. We have only 78 people to the end, and we had much better numbers earlier. So thank you all very much for staying on to the end, and have a wonderful Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best, DG. All the best, Narayan Saab.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
What did you say?
Bye.
Everyone, please keep your videos on. And give us a smile. We have a nice photograph.
Say cheese.
Yeah, say cheese.
The old statement, say cheese.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Prashant is still trying to get the photograph. Please hold on a minute.
Okay.
I'm not. Oh, please switch on your videos. The camera, please. Yeah. Done? Done. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaskara, Koteyore. Namaskara. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, madam.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, madam.
Yes, sir.
Not at night. It's not night here. ಯಾರು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಿ ನೀವು?
BM USA.
But okay, night ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ.
Night 12:30. Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Right, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. I end the meeting now. Thank you very much.